Let's begin with a powerful quote from Henry Ford. It is well enough that the people of the nation do not understand our banking and monetary system, for if they did, I believe there would be a revolution before tomorrow morning. I chose this quote because it highlights how little we understand about who controls our money. This video might feel a bit different from my usual content. But I felt compelled to share it. Over the past 4 years, I've been diving deep into the financial world, and what I've learned has shifted my entire perspective. Today, I'll walk you through some of these discoveries. We'll explore who really controls our money, and in a future video, I'll tie this into why cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin are on the rise. Understanding the foundations of our financial system is key before delving into the world of crypto. Let's jump in. Who controls our money? It's a simple question, but not an easy one to answer. You and I don't control it. Our employers don't. Even the companies we work for don't control it. So who does? And where does money come from in the first place? Here's a hint. It's not from the government. This question is rarely discussed, let alone taught in schools. Yet, most of us spend our entire lives chasing money. We go to school, learn skills, and trade hours of our lives for this thing we call money. But hardly anyone asks the fundamental question: where does money actually come from? Today, you're going to find out. The birth of central banking. Let's take a journey back to 1694. England had just endured 50 years of war and needed loans to rebuild. Banker William Peterson had an idea: a privately owned bank that could lend money to the government. This was the birth of the world's first modern central bank. Since then, central banks have gained more influence than laws, governments, and politicians, but for some reason, they remain in the background, away from public attention. Fast forward to the early 1900s. After 2 failed attempts, a group of bankers in the U.S. wanted to establish a central bank. In 1910, Senator Nelson Aldrich and 6 other men boarded a train to Jekyll Island, Georgia. They met secretly for 9 days to design what would become the Federal Reserve System. Why the secrecy? Because the American public didn't want a central bank. Back then, people knew what central banks were and how they worked, how they led to wealth inequality and boom-bust cycles. Yet, despite the public's resistance, the Federal Reserve Act passed in 1913, giving a small group of bankers control over the issuance of money. How central banks control the economy today. The Federal Reserve is the most powerful institution in the U.S. Its chairman, Alan Greenspan, once admitted that no government agency can interfere with their decisions. But what does the Its chairman, Alan Greenspan, once admitted that no government agency can interfere with their decisions. But what does the Federal Reserve really do? The answer is unsettling. It creates money out of thin air. When the U.S. government needs money, it issues bonds, which the Federal Reserve buys using money that didn't exist before. This is how our system works. Whenever the Federal Reserve creates new money, it devalues the currency that already exists. This process is called inflation, and we all feel its effects over time. Inflation is like a hidden tax. It's the reason why in 1950, a house cost $7,000, but today that same house might cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Debt-based economy, here's where things get even stranger. In our current system, debt is money. That's right, when you take out a loan, the bank doesn't pull that money from its reserves. It creates new money, recorded as debt. Without debt, there would be no money. This is why our entire financial system depends on constant borrowing. Governments and individuals must keep borrowing to keep the system running. If debt stops growing, the money supply shrinks and the system collapses. The global impact now. You might be thinking, what does this have to do with me? I don't even live in the U.S. But here's why it matters. The U.S. dollar is the world's reserve currency. This means that all central banks around the world hold U.S. dollars in their reserves. So, whenever the Federal Reserve prints more money, it impacts the value of currencies globally. Since 1971, when the U.S. dollar was removed from the gold standard, our money has been backed by nothing but trust in the government, trust in the system. This is called fiat money, meaning it's only valuable because we believe it is. What's next? It's clear that central banks and the financial system are designed to keep us in debt. But people are starting to wake up. Some are turning to alternatives like gold and cryptocurrencies, such as Bitcoin, which can't be inflated or controlled by central banks. This is a complex topic, and I encourage you to do your own research. If you're interested, I recommend watching Michael Maloney's Hidden Secrets of Money or reading The Creature from Jekyll Island by G. Edward Griffin. Both provide incredible insights into the history of central banking and how it shapes the world today. Conclusion: thanks for sticking with me through this video. If this is new information to you, I hope it sparks your curiosity. There's so much more to learn about how our financial system really works, and I encourage you to dig deeper. If you found value in this video, feel free to subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one, where we'll dive into the rise of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Thanks for watching.